I can see clearly from the time and dies. I'm going to the mountain with the fire, baby. No one will accept all of me. So the fire will stop. Up through the street.
Eccentric, outspoken, or just plain conceited are words which have been used to describe Jeffrey Lee Pierce of the Gun Club. At the very least, he's not boring. The only member who has lasted his own purges, Jeffrey has passed through over a half a dozen musicians. Now playing with drummer D. Pop and guitarist Jim Duckworth, Jeffrey seems content with his latest choice of musicians. Or maybe somebody's putting happy pills in his Wheaties. Following the interview is a live recording made with now unemployed gun clubbers.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what the EP is going to sound like? Is it going to be in the same vein? Is it going to be any kind of drastic change from what we're used to? Or
well, I think it's just a lot like the same. I think it's a lot like the same thing. It's a lot harder now, I guess. It's like musically structured, I guess. It's more like the second record, but it's played like faster and louder or something. Just mostly because of Jim Duckworth is just a maniac, you know. He's such an overbearing guitarist. He's like 3 times the guitarist Ward was. Because Ward was a good guitarist, but Ward was just never. He was never, if you know what I mean, aggressive. Yeah.
He seemed a little introspective, like he was holding back a little bit. I could definitely tell that he was a good guitar player, and I like.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guitarist. He's a great guitarist, but he's not an aggressive guitarist. He's more of an introspective player. He's more of a thinking guitarist. But Duckworth is just a gorilla. I mean, he just goes crazy. He just breaks all his strings. He just feeds back on every song. He's just completely out of his mind.
He's fit in real well.
Yeah, he's just a southern kid from Memphis. Drops acid still. He's out of his head. And he's great. He works out perfect with this, and he just sets D loose, and D just goes crazy too. And D's been really restrained for a long time doing that Bush Tetris thing that he's really digging being in a rock band again. So they're both I couldn't even control them in the studio. Songs that I had maybe meant to be more subtle or something like that just turned into great big noise epics. There's one that's 7 minutes long, and it's just pure racket. It's like Sister Ray or something.
Sounds like it should be good.
Because it's been good for me too, because they've swung me back into that direction too, which is where the band originally started. When Kid was in the group, we were really a noisier band. It kind of swayed into a really more musical, writing-oriented thing. And now that I've got these new guys, the fresh blood, it's kind of gone back again for where it started.
You didn't play in LA too many times, right, before you recorded the album?
No, we played to death in LA before we did the first album.
What clubs did you play?
All the shit dives, all of them. Name one. I think we played every one. Perkins Palace is the only place we didn't play, I think. Every other imaginable club we hit.
Was it hard getting any kind of acceptance because at the time you were playing, there was a big punk thing and all that? You really aren't.
Yeah, it was real. We never did. We still haven't. We never did get any acceptance over there. Because we weren't hardcore and we weren't rockabilly, and everybody, it's all classification there.
So you find
they don't even give a shit about music in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, they only give us it's all a matter of social groups and cliques and labels for them and stuff. It has nothing to do with music. The more unique you are, the more you separate yourself from the whole audience in general. There's I guess now it's opening up a little bit. These bands like Dream Syndicate are coming out, and they're popular. They're big draws in LA. A band like that wouldn't even have a chance 2 years ago when we were doing it.
seemed like when you put out the second album, the material was strong and everything, but I just got the feeling from the album that you weren't happy. It comes across that.
Well, it wasn't mostly like. Well, see, I thought it was the best songs I had ever written.
Yeah.
I still think it's better songs than maybe in the EP even. I think that those songs are better. But so I was happy with my own personal part. I thought it was the best I had sang too. I was happy with my own personal side of it. But I was happy with just about everything after that. The playing was you can hear shifting rhythm changes. There's all kinds of bad playing in there. Terry was hitting the snare drum so softly that you couldn't even, we couldn't even do anything with it in the mix.
How was it like working with Chris Down? Did he have a real lot to do with the production? Or?
No, it was about half and half.
Is he helping produce the?
He produced some of the better ones. He produced like Watermelon Man and shit like that, which I like, and that's like all just Chris. I mean, I had nothing to do with that song. I wasn't even in the studio during it. I did like Mother of Earth, because I was pushing towards a more echoey country thing. It's kind of weird. It was a real weird combination of things. It was also too many people had say in the matter, so it comes out real confused. But like at least in this thing, it's just me and Chris. Nobody else has any say in the matter. All the new musicians, even though they're my new band and stuff like that, they're strictly employed. It's not like where everybody gets to jump in and argue for their opinion, because we cut all the opinions out except just mine or Chris's, and on the next album it's just going to be me.